Something is changing in football right now, and if you're a real fan, you can feel it. Not slowly, not quietly, but in a way that forces everyone, players, fans, even legends, to stop and look again. Because every once in a generation, a player doesn't just perform, he shifts the balance of the entire sport. And right now, that player is Kylian Mbappé. This is not hype anymore. This is not media exaggeration. This is something deeper, something real. Because when a player starts doing things that even Cristiano Ronaldo and Lionel Messi weren't doing at the same stage, you don't just call it talent, you call it a warning. Now, before we go deeper into this story, take a second to understand just how big this moment really is. For almost 2 decades, football belonged to 2 names, Ronaldo, Messi. They weren't just great players. They defined the standard. They set the ceiling so high that no one else could even come close. 17 years of dominance, records broken, Ballon d'Or battles, goal numbers that didn't make sense. And for a long time, it felt like that era would never end. But now, something is different. Because Mbappé is not chasing them anymore. He's starting to step into their space. Let's go back for a second. When Mbappé first exploded onto the scene at Monaco, people saw potential, raw speed, fearless attacking, big game mentality. But even then, nobody expected this. Nobody expected him to reach 400 career goals by the age of 26, a milestone that even Ronaldo and Messi didn't hit at that age. Think about that. 2 of the greatest players in football history, and Mbappé is already ahead of them at the same point in his career. That's not normal. That's generational. And it's not just about numbers, because numbers can lie, but performances don't. Take his recent Champions League form. Mbappé has been scoring at a rate that puts him right alongside the best to ever do it. He reached major goal milestones faster than many legends, showing a level of consistency that very few players in history have managed. And when the pressure rises, he doesn't disappear. He shows up. Just recently, in a massive Champions League clash, Mbappé once again delivered when it mattered. In a high-intensity match filled with elite talent, he found the moment, made the run, and scored, dragging his team back into the game when it looked like everything was slipping away. That's the difference. That's what separates great players from world-class players. And that's what makes this whole situation feel different. Because now, it's not just fans talking. It's analysts. It's media. It's the entire football world starting to recognize what's happening. Mbappé is not just continuing the legacy. He's redefining it. But here's where it gets even more interesting. Because this isn't just about Mbappé versus the game. This is about Mbappé versus history. Let's talk about Ronaldo for a second. By the age of 26, Cristiano Ronaldo had scored just over 200 career goals. Mbappé, he doubled that. Over 400. That's not just an improvement, that's a completely different trajectory. Now compare that to Messi. Messi was closer, yes, more efficient, more consistent at that stage. But even then, Mbappé's total goal contributions at the same age are incredibly competitive, in some cases even higher when you combine goals and assists. So what does that tell you? It tells you that we are not watching a normal career progression. We are watching a player who is accelerating faster than the 2 greatest players of all time. And that's exactly why people are starting to react differently, because respect in football is not given, it's earned. And right now, Mbappé is earning it at a speed nobody expected. Even in terms of yearly performance, he has entered elite territory. In 2025 alone, Mbappé was producing numbers that placed him among the top scorers in world football, alongside the very players who dominated the previous era. And when you start appearing in the same statistical conversations as Ronaldo and Messi, that's when things get serious. But here's the part that most people are missing. This is not just about goals. This is about evolution. Football is changing. The game is faster, more tactical, more physically demanding. And Mbappé fits perfectly into this new era. Speed, intelligence, finishing, movement. He combines everything modern football demands, which is exactly why many experts now believe that the torch is officially being passed. From Messi and Ronaldo to Mbappé, and we're already seeing that shift happen in major tournaments, in league performances, in Champions League nights. He's no longer the next big thing. He is the main thing. But even with all of this, Mbappé himself hasn't lost perspective. He has openly spoken about Cristiano Ronaldo's incredible achievements, even calling the idea of reaching 1,000 goals unreal, a level of respect that shows he understands exactly what came before him. And that matters, because this isn't about replacing legends, it's about rising to meet them, and maybe surpass them. Because when you look at the trajectory, the numbers, the performances, the consistency, everything points in one direction, up. And this is where things get really serious. Because once a player reaches this level, the conversation changes. It's no longer, can he become great? It becomes, how far can he go? Can he break Ronaldo's records? Can he match Messi's influence? Can he dominate for over a decade? Right now, nobody knows. But what we do know is this: he's ahead of schedule, and that should worry everyone, because football has seen greatness before. But this feels like the beginning of something even bigger. And maybe that's why the reactions are starting to change. Fans are noticing, analysts are noticing, and even players are noticing. Because when someone starts doing the impossible consistently, you don't ignore it, you respect it. And that's exactly where we are right now. At the point where Mbappé is no longer chasing shadows, he's creating his own legacy. So yeah, this is not just another football story. This is a shift, a transition, a moment where the past meets the future. Because Ronaldo built the standard, Messi perfected it, and now Mbappé is evolving it. And if this continues, if he keeps improving at this rate, if he keeps delivering on the biggest stages, then we are not just witnessing a great player. We are witnessing the next era of football. And the scary part? He's still not finished. He's still improving, still learning, still pushing, which means this story is only just getting started. So the real question is not whether Mbappé has shocked the football world, because he already has. The real question is, what happens next? Because if this is just the beginning, then football might never look the same again. And that's why, right now, the entire world is watching.